live.
And there we are.
Woot woot.
A BetterHelp ad. That's incredibly depressing.
Lucky bat. Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's put on a decal. I haven't done a decal in a while. Where did I put my goose?
I mean, do you even remember how?
Nope. I'll have to watch an EOB video.
Eons of Decals.
All right, I have such a selection. A red one would sort of make sense because he is a captain. Technically, he's a marshal. I could put on a white one. There's also some like white ones that have extra points.
Red.
Yeah, I think red. Ooh, maybe one of these red that's
the white?
got a white border.
That'd be cool.
Ooh, or maybe a red one that's clear in the middle. I think I'm gonna do red that's clear in the middle. There we go. Nick Shield cosplay. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Dean Collins. What's a decal? It's a water slide transfer. It's sort of a sticker, but instead of a peel and stick sticker, it's a tiny, tiny layer of plastic that's printed on with a little bit of glue underneath. And you get them wet, and then the glue rehydrates, and then you transfer them onto whatever you want, and then you get the water off of it, and it's stuck in place.
Otherwise known as a decal.
Yeah, otherwise known as a decal. It's like tomato, tomato. The correct word is decal, but sometimes it's fun to say decal.
I've never met somebody that said tomato.
No, I've never heard of tomato either.
In my entire life. I've never seen it in a movie. I've never seen it anywhere.
Michael Middens, for your videos, I started the Warhammer hobby. Thanks. Nice. Crash TV, running to the hobby shop. What should I reward myself with today other than what I need? Any suggestions? I don't know what your store has got. I think you should get a box of Cadian Shock Troopers. Is that what you're looking for?
Yep. I think you should get a Chaos Knight. Grass cats. Hit the like, everyone. No, hit dislike. Wham Batman. Painting my very first kill team because of you guys.
Nice! John, does Nick know how to read?
I am hooked on phonics. I'm so hooked on it.
You're all the way up to the purple book, right?
All the way up there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a problem.
I'm
so hooked on it.
Chevox, freehanding squad numbers on my Astra Militarum. The basing is done. Nice. I feel like Astra Militarum is one of those armies that could really benefit from some decals. Adds some nice little details without doing too much work.
Spice. Champ Styles, get a sloppity bile piper.
Ooh, I love that model. Sloppity.
It's a good name.
I should have grabbed tweezers.
Do you think the name came first?
I hope so. I hope they were spitballing, and that came up, and they're like, okay, that's going to be a model. Alright, so what I found with decals is you want to get it nice and right where you want it. And then you take your paper towel and you crush it down with a lot of force to really force any air or water that's trapped underneath. And that's how you get a nice flat decal. You have to be really careful when you crush it to not shift it out of position or break it. Sometimes older decals, really all decals are a little bit fragile, but older decals sometimes will crack because they do a lot of crack.
It's an epidemic.
Mm-hmm. There.
Bloated bladder. My bladder is bloated. Got the same problem.
Just ask because I claimed he didn't, and I needed to confirm. Oh yeah, we saw.
Oh yeah, we certainly did. Oh yeah, and you know, I might, you might be getting a slander case your way, saying I don't know how to read.
Hi Junderas, is the Devastator Squad kit allowed in 30k, or are they post Horus Heresy? I think they're fine, technically. Some of them are wearing Mark 7 armor, which is post-Heresy, although technically it existed during the Heresy. Nobody was wearing it that much. It was like a pretty new thing, even newer than Mark 6, which was invented just before the Horus Heresy and given out to chapters like the Raven Guard and the Sons of Horus. But I think it'd be fine. Maybe you get some appropriate heads. Really, you shouldn't be able to see much of the bodies because of the giant guns. Yeah, I'd say go for it. And just consider it a fun challenge to 30k him up. Arbiter Ian is a YouTuber who has a lot of great resources for Horus Heresy, and he has a video on all of the 40k kits that can be taken in 30k. And maybe you give that one a watch. Arbiter Ian. Also, technically anything's allowed in Horus Heresy. Because you can do whatever you want. Like, just in life. Well, Lan, I'm wondering what army to start, Dark Eldar or Tau? Tau.
Tau.
And I know the second we've said that, yeah, now you're thinking, oh, but I like the Dark Eldar so much more.
Yeah.
So then go to Dark Eldar.
Right. But Tau is pretty cool. So.
Yeah.
But so's the Dark Eldar. The Dark Eldar is pretty sick. No, it's moving. Working Rambo. I'm pretty sure Nick has said on stream that he doesn't know how to read, and they never lie on stream. Oh yeah, battle report tomorrow, everybody.
Yeah.
I know. Usually people want to watch Models Memories, but we're gonna do a battle report.
Mm-hmm.
You're welcome. Everybody, be happy about it. Ned Lulz, have you guys ever dabbled in Blood Bowl?
I own Blood. We own Blood Bowl, but never actually managed to try it out.
No, we thought about it, like really hard, but then we didn't do it. I feel like that gets to count.
Mm-hmm. Lookins, Jay, what do you have to say about painting over a decal? I grabbed a bunch of graffiti decals and I want to chip over them and fade them out. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I mean, it's almost essential sometimes to get it to have the exact right look. But yeah, not a bad idea at all to paint over a decal. I would say just make sure that you give it like 1 or 2 coats of varnish on top of the decal, and then start painting.
So it helps blend it in, or helps protect it?
Just to help protect it. Also, like you're gonna go from painting on paint to painting on a sheet of shiny plastic.
Yeah, that's true. Matthew Cheeseman. Tower for nerds. Yeah.
I think you mean weebs.
I wouldn't be caught dead with my Tau Pathfinders. Captain Blue. Imagine if Battle Reports actually came out tomorrow.
They will. What, you think we're
Right.
lying?
You would never.
No, yeah, the battle reports will come out tomorrow. Mr. Hammond Cannon 2, I apply decals before washes. You can go in any order you want. As if you put on a lot of coats of varnish, I think it's perfectly fine to put them on before washes. The danger is if you don't put on enough layers and that edge isn't blended well into the surface of the model, the wash might actually it might highlight the edge of the plastic decal. I've definitely had that happen on a lot of my Black Templar from back in high school days when I didn't know nothing.
Didn't know nothing.
Didn't know nothing.
Jason M. Hey everyone, I wrote a poem today. The Eldari, Yanari, and Drukari went to Catachan on a safari. They then found a lictor whose name was Victor. Together, they all played Atari.
Aww. I loved it.
You're supposed to snap.
Oh, I can't
It's a
snap.
poem. Oh yeah,
I
I'll
don't
do
know
it.
how.
That means that you wouldn't be invited to poem night.
That's true.
That's embarrassing.
I'd be slapping my hands together like a savage.
Jeez.
While all the cultured people are snapping their fingers.
Yuck. God, that's embarrassing.
Mr. Bright Vibes, what are you putting on the decal? I'm putting on some Vallejo polyurethane satin varnish. This is the varnish I use on my minis in general. Caleb, I use decal softener. It seems to hide the edge pretty well. In theory, it shouldn't. Decal softener just kind of breaks down the plastic a little bit and melts it, but very, very, very slightly. I'd still suggest putting on a little matte varnish or satin varnish or paint medium.
Lego Jorgensen. I went to a poetry night once. I was the only one snapping. Yeah, you're the only one doing it right. Everyone else must be noobs.
The Holy Emu, how will you run your new Bombat army? Of course, they are referring to my army of guns, and if you don't know about that, clearly you didn't watch the video that came out yesterday.
The army of
Which
the
everyone should
Gurgas.
go watch. I don't know
true.
if I'm going to proxy them as rebels, or if I'm going to try to make up rules. I'll probably do both.
Right. Oops. Bureau Cunningham. Marching band camp was interesting today. What
It always
happened?
is.
Oh. So they showed off the bikes, the rest of the
I
bikes.
saw that. Yeah,
Interesting.
they look the same.
They do. I think the one with the two guys. I love the just gingerly sitting on a rock that all three of them are.
Mm-hmm.
Muir Cunningham. Everyone got yelled at today. Yep. Oh yeah. Remember when we were in marching band and one of the people got really, really mad at everyone and they said, "Everyone's touching themselves." And we all died of laughter.
Yep.
Because that's insane.
Mm-hmm.
He was just so angry he couldn't get the words and he said that.
Yeah.
And everyone's touching themselves.
Yeah, remember how intense high school the band teachers would sometimes get?
Yes. Yeah.
And like, I get it, they just want it to be good, but like, no one cares.
Yeah. Well, for the band that you were in.
The band I was in, absolutely. I was in the loser band.
Yep.
Which was, it was great. I loved loser band.
Muir Cunningham, our band director has a very short temper. I think that's just how they come.
Yeah, it's out of the box.
It's like when you go to school for music education, they're like, "Do you have an insane temper?" And they're like, "Yeah." All right, yell at this mannequin of a kid playing the trombone.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you pass that test, then you get to do it.
Ooh, is Ninjan still watching? Ninjan, if you're still here, what is your favorite red paint to use? Because I was painting something red today and I could not get it as saturated as I wanted it to be. I mean, I think my reference material was a little too vibrant to the point where like there was no possible way I could replicate it, but I think I do want to try out some new reds. Because I was digging the blue. I was using a blue. I was using Vallejo Magic Blue, which is like one of the greatest paint colors of all time.
Pretty good.
And the red just looked like brown next to it. It's gonna just look like brown. Look at that! Look at that wood chip. Doesn't that look like a proper boulder?
It does.
Give it a really warm earth airbrush, and then a desaturate it by dry brushing it with gray. Boom.
I love it.
Nick Shield Cosplay, been pumping out minis over the last few days. You've been a big help in that. Awesome! Yeah, I've been known to paint here and there. I mean, my true passion is ballroom dancing. We all know that. But between doing that, I like to paint miniatures.
For a second, I thought you were going to say ball gag.
No, that's our new Patreon mini for this month.
Right, which brings us to the Bound Demon, our Patreon mini for the month.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to join the Patreon to get that sweet model, or you can buy the physical 3D print. Pretty sick.
Yeah, like there's a few painting challenges that like will probably come up in your painting career. Hair, textures, scales, fur. I would say ball gags. You wouldn't expect it, but one day you'll be painting a model and it's like, darn, I have to paint a ball gag. And the only thing, experience is important, and so maybe you get you get our Patreon mini so that you have the experience.
Right. Terra Spleen, I'm experiencing a bout of painting burnout. I stripped and started painting Adrex Agatone and tried to paint his eyes, and I just gave up.
Well, maybe you can practice eyes on some of your finished minis. Just grab them off the shelf and give it a couple of tries, or maybe just finish the model as good as you can, and then just work on other projects or play video games, and then come back to it when you feel like it. Thomas Wilson, try some Chimera colors, big dog. Then you can speak in an Italian accent like Marco for the whole stream while using those sweet, sweet single pigment colors. Not a bad idea.
Susie Garcia. Jay, I played my second Kill Team League game yesterday and won 18-3.
Nice!
Damn. That means you must have gotten, like, all the objectives and, like, all your cards off.
Yeah.
That's a lot. I didn't even know it could go up to 18.
I think Sean and I have gotten 20 before.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Obviously, you didn't get to 20.
No. I think it was like a close game, though.
Yeah, whatever you have to tell yourself.
Close-ish.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, 5-20. Pretty close.
I remember it was a game where Sean and I were playing and you and Amanda were playing, and we finished in like 40 minutes or something crazy.
Yeah.
Because we were fighting to the death.
Yeah. And we were like doing our nails.
Mm-hmm.
We were just talking about life. Yeah. We're getting our hair done. Yeah. Delirium. Hadn't painted a mini in ages, over a decade. Started watching a bunch of 40k vids out of the blue a few months ago and bought some minis and paints. What minis did you buy? Cesar Garcia, I played Tau Pathfinders while my opponent used Assault Intercessors. I killed off all of his units by the second turning point.
Sounds like he wasn't making good use of cover. It's tricky. Assault Intercessors want to get close. You probably should have kept everything in conceal until he got close to you. Because the Assault Intercessors should wreck Tau in close combat. But if I had to guess, I would say he didn't get much into close combat.
It's hard. In fact, that's kind of a hard matchup, too, because you can get a couple sniping positions. I mean,
It's true.
You're going to town.
The Tau have a lot of guns that can disintegrate some Space Marines.
Yeah.
Did he remember to run 6 Space Marines instead of 5? Because the Space Marines got a buff. They got one extra dude.
You wouldn't know that unless you read one random ass article.
Yeah.
Is that fun?
Mm-hmm.
I like how fun it is. So they're redoing, or I guess the new version of Kill Team is going to come out whenever, and with that, there's going to be a rule book. Do you think there's going to be an updated compendium with all these rules?
I don't know. Are they going to expect you to buy 4 books to get all the current armies that are out there?
It's just insane.
Because I think they do sell like the Octeris book separately, or not the Octeris, the Chalnath book separately, the Nachmund book separately, which is dumb. Don't buy it.
But what about the missions and the narrative play?
Nobody cares. I'm sure the ones in the core rule book are plenty good enough.
What about the narrative play? You keep forgetting about the narrative play.
It's true. Andrew Aarons, Jay, your video on how to get friends to play will help this weekend. Sweet!
Yeah. B95. Hydration check. Everyone make sure your pallets are hydrated.
Mine's nice and hydrated.
Mine's dry. Vertical mammal. My God, won't somebody think about the narrative play? It's so important.
Mm-hmm.
Don't call me Shirley. Necrons when? They're coming soon. Jurassic Spleen. Virgin Nick uses a dry palette. No. It's just, I'm not painting. I guess it's a dry palette now, because it's not put together or wet. I mean, if you support the newest Cobalt Keep Kickstarter, you can get both.
Yeah.
Dual palette.
I remember when I was in my first few years of painting, there was like 6 months where I just decided I started painting with a dry palette, and I just would paint with a dry palette. And that's just what I would do. And then one day I was like, let me just put together a wet palette. And then I never stopped doing wet palette.
There you go.
Because wet palettes are better. There's times where dry palette is nice, but most of the time wet. Wet is the way to go.
Wet.
Wet ass palette.
Bad. Working Ramble. My palette is very dry and irritable. I'm also dry and irritable. Jurassic Spleen. I remember during my earliest days of painting, I used a paper towel as my palette.
My paints dry up so fast. I wonder why.
Wild. Greyhound Rush. I'm over here using paper plates.
I guess it does the trick. I do believe this will be the last day of painting this Black Templar guy.
Oh my goodness.
So I'll put up a new poll tonight. But how do we access this poll, you may ask? Well, you have to be a supporter on Patreon.
Whoa.
Because the patrons pick what models I paint. And let me tell you, there'll be some spicy options on this one.
Spicy.
Let's just say you won't want to miss the voting. But you will if you're not a member of our Patreon.
Yep.
You also get like tons and tons of terrain STLs. You get access to our miniature of the month, which has a ball gag. I don't know if we mentioned that.
It does. Yeah, I don't know if we mentioned that it has a ball gag or not.
Mm-hmm.
Chicken Chuggets. How do you paint the small trims on the really small armor panels?
Like on a Chaos Space Marine, or like I guess I see on this guy he has some trim like that, and I just decided not to. And I think it looks just fine. I would say pick and choose. Like if you're painting Chaos Space Marines who have trim on every bit of them, maybe don't paint all of it. Like maybe paint the wrists, like the stuff on their wrists, and maybe the stuff on their ankles, but maybe not the stuff on their thighs and arms. Also, don't be afraid to use a larger brush. You can use large brushes as long as they have reasonably sharp tips.
I got a sharp tip.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my brush, obviously.
I have a brush I really like. It's a liner brush, and that means that it has very, very long bristles. And what's nice is that even though it goes to a really sharp point, the long bristles hold a lot of paint, and so it doesn't dry up every second. I know I used to use brushes like these. This is an Army Painter Insane Detail. This brush is mostly useless because it's like 5 bristles. And the paint that goes on that brush dries up within a couple of seconds. Whereas this brush, it's sort of, if you look at the tip, it's about the same. But since it's so long and it gets so fat in the middle, it'll hold a lot of wet paint for a long time.
Yeah.
Traspleen, I had a bad day yesterday. I spilled Null Oil 3 times. I'm being dead serious. Rip.
Damn. Yeah, you gotta glue that down to something bigger then.
Akrope, do you regularly use metallic paints, or is non-metallic metal the way for you? I usually do a bit of both. I guess this guy is all non-metallic metal, but I kind of like how he looks. But if I wanted to add a little metallic-y glitter, I would just take silver on a dry brush, and I would just dry brush it over the gold and the metal. And that would give me the glint that I like from metallic paints without the entire thing looking glittery. I want to do a video on it one day. I just need to find all the right examples. Because whenever if I painted that bolter, classic, standard Games Workshop, the way I painted thousands of bolters with some lead belcher and the Null Oil wash, it sort of looks right, but then as soon as the light hits it, the entire bolter sort of shines, which it shouldn't. I want to be in control of what parts are shiny and highlighted and which parts are dark. And so I get a lot more control just using colors by doing non-metallic metal. And really non-metallic metal, really good non-metallic metal deals with like secondary reflections and light source and all that. But basic non-metallic metal, which is like what I've done on this guy, is basically just taking the thing and then saying, well, what if this little thing was the whole model? Where would I put the highlights and shadows? And then put the highlights and shadows on. And then call it a day. Like on this guy's Terminatus, Crux Terminatus, it's light on top and dark on the bottom. But if I was doing like true non-metallic metal, technically the light hitting the skull should also be reflecting onto other parts of the skull. But I think just light on top, dark on the bottom looks plenty good enough.
George Rijardo. Jay, do you ever paint a model so meh you didn't do a video on it, or are your pleb days firmly behind you?
Very sort of recently we had a video that had to, like, we changed it because the thing I made just didn't work out. That was a thing I made, though, not a model. Not really.
Yeah, no, I can't. We've had what, 3 videos that we like. This is way back. This is basically way back when, a couple years ago, and before that, we had how to prime small things. Remember that video?
Oh yeah.
It just didn't become a video because it was nothing.
Yeah.
It was put your models on tape.
Mm-hmm.
On tape.
That was the video.
Like make a cardboard palette and cut it out. And it does work, but I don't. You know what? I'm surprised that we didn't just make it a video, because it just wasn't. I think that was also at the time where we were kind of done.
Yeah.
So we just didn't. Let's see. Then there was one. I swear it was something with those Aegis defense lines.
Yeah. Like, was it? Did we not do the video of me battle damaging the Aegis defense lines?
I think we did that, but I had footage.
Huh.
Of something else. I don't know.
Because they're still unpainted.
Yeah. I don't remember. And then it was one. It was our first Wednesday video was going to be you painting something. I don't know. It wasn't the Rhino. It was one of those tanks.
Mm-hmm.
And we just didn't finish the video.
Mm.
I don't remember which one. I don't know what the Space Marines anything is, because I don't like them. Yeah, because we didn't know what we were doing.
Culture Wars Diplomacy. How do you finish an army if it takes over a week per model? Are you asking for you or for me? Because if it's for you, well, maybe you need to either you just let it take forever. It's not that big a deal. Or you just start playing with unpainted models or unfinished models. Or just drop something. Or you could figure out ways to speed up your painting. Maybe you omit some details. Or you come up with strategies, maybe like dry brushing or washes to finish things quicker. It looks like it takes me a long time to paint things on stream, but usually I'm trying to paint really, really well on stream, and I'm also distracted. And it's just an hour a day. Like, I'm still painting pretty quick.
Yeah.
Like, usually, like, I'll paint for 8 hours for a video, and that's how it gets done in a reasonable amount of time. Sort of. I mean, I don't know if most people would say, oh, you sit down for 8 hours and paint a model. That doesn't sound reasonable.
Right.
But for us wargamers, we know that that's not bad.
Right. Gee Whiz's workshop. Oh crap. I was totally engulfed in painting and I forgot to tune in to watch Jay. At least there's a few minutes left.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, 20 minutes. You got plenty of time.
Yeah. You're killing it. Yeah, it looks like we did upload the Aegis defense line video, but it was something with it though. Or maybe I don't know. Who knows? I like that the last video we did before we came back the first time was showcase Nick's Blue Orc Dakajet. I'm sure that's a winner. I am sure that's a winner.
Vertical Mammal, trying to get into Kill Team. I heard Octeris is the best value, but I am tempted by getting Chalnath and a separate Essentials pack. Any thoughts? Welcome. If you want 2 forces, Chalnath or Octeris is not a bad idea. If you just want 1 faction, I think all the boxes you can just buy right now. Like if you want, I mean, obviously, if it's something out of the compendium, you can just buy it whenever you want because it's old Games Workshop stuff. If you want one of the bespoke kill teams that came in one of the big doubles boxes, you can just buy them.
But
The
my mom
Chaos
said I
Space Marine.
couldn't.
The Chaos Space Marine one is $65, which all of them have been $60, which I think is dumb. I think the reason they did that is because normal Chaos Space Marines cost $60, and they were like, well, this comes with more, so we can't just make it $60 or else no one will ever buy the regular Chaos Space Marines anymore.
Yeah. BG95. Nick, I'm tucking you in with a grot pillow. Thank you. I want a grot pillow.
Yeah.
Like a full body pillow.
It'd be a small body pillow.
It would, but you know, it's one you put between your legs.
Ah, there you go.
You know? Yeah, you put it between your legs. Don't call me Shirley. Hey Jay, do you want a Jar Jar Lego fig?
I probably already have it. You know, I have the old Jar Jar Lego fig from like 2000. I don't have any of the modern Jar Jars, but that's okay. I still don't want it.
Thorax spleen. But my mom said I couldn't. As a Warhammer teenager, I live by this quote. Mom, can you drive me to the Warhammer store? I gotta pick up a box of Gretchen.
Evan Grippa, is this for an army or for display? Is that tall base allowed in a game? Yeah, you can do whatever you want. This guy is for gaming, but he's painted up really nice because he's a character. He's an HQ choice, and I always try to do a little extra on the HQs. But I just like the look of big, cool bases. And if a 1/4 inch of base height is the difference between winning and losing a game, I'm fine with losing that game.
Oh, you'll be losing the game.
Yeah, I'll be losing the game, and I'll blame it on the 1/4 inch. Let's say that was the reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's any regulations whatsoever on the base, except for you should try to use the one that the model came with.
M14 serve. That Gungan video was cool.
Yeah!
The Gungan.
Anybody
The
want to see an
Gungas.
entire army of Gun miniatures be painted? You gotta
Oh my
watch yesterday's
God.
video.
It's wild. It's very fun. We got the Goongas.
Igado Gutierrez, is there a Thousand Suns kill team? Yes, you can take rubrics and Zangors out of the compendium. Actually, they have weight dwarf rules now.
Right. Which most people don't know what that means because
No.
because it's garbage.
It means if you go on Warhammerpedia, there's 2 sets of rules for them.
Yeah. Let's see, what is it called? Warp Coven. You want to look for the Thousand Suns Warp Coven rules. There are Thousand Suns rules, but they are outdated because Games Workshop hates you.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they said. That's not what I think. That's what they said.
Yeah. Warp Coven can take 2 sorcerers. That's what's special about them.
Which is pretty cool. Yeah. Wahapedia.ru. I would never say that you should use that website to look for the rules. That would be rude.
Don't
But
call
you
me.
should go look at the rules on there.
Don't call me Shirley. It was weird hearing you use Army Painter in the Gun video. I was shocked. I don't really like Army Painter's regular paints, although I like their yellow. Weirdly enough, they have a really good yellow, and actually they have a really good white. But I really like Army Painter speed paints, and I like Army Painter washes. They're really good and they're really cheap.
Vertical mammal. Yes, it would be terrible if a website such as Wahapedia had all the rules and data cards for free. Just terrible.
They would be awful.
Yeah, and not only that, they have all the rules for 9th edition and Age of Sigmar and 7th, old 7th and 8th, and Kill Team 1 and Age of Sigmar 2. So you can get old rules too. Sorry that they don't have Warhammer Fantasy Battles.
Samuel Smith, could you do more videos painting to your HQ quality? Much love from Straya. I don't paint. It depends on what I'm doing in the video. Like if I'm painting infantry, I'll usually paint them up to like just my normal infantry level. The tricky thing with painting like really crazy detailed and stuff is like it's hard to. There's not a lot of teaching to do. It's just. So just spend the next 2 hours highlighting everything on the body, and then go. Like I like to find ways to really show off techniques. I'm gonna dry brush this foot, and then it's gonna look really different before and after it's dry brushed.
Vertical mammal. But do they have narrative play? Checkmate. Do they have?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Let's see. Core rules: open play, match play, spec ops, narrative play. And it looks like they have the expansions. Too. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God, they do.
Dang.
With the diagrams of like where to put your terrain and all that kind of stuff. So, boom. Gee Whiz's Workshop, best place to get minis besides Games Workshop. As in, like you want Games Workshop minis, but you don't want to pay Games Workshop prices, or you want like proxy models to use instead of Games Workshop models. Because if you want the first one, Valhalla Hobby, you get some models 15% off, and you can do it online. And it's a store that we like, so you should use it, and then you should say that you bought it because we said so. That would be nice. It's a store that we really like. We haven't been there in a bit, but we probably will.
Yeah.
Probably when the new Kill Team comes out.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Gotta be soon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Next month or so.
Yeah. Hopefully. It's gotta be because they're on a schedule.
Don't call me Shirley. Ball gag army.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I wish.
Chris Umana, do you guys know where I can get proxy orc heads and/or orc arms for my space orc boys' torsos?
Yes.
Yes.
Cromlech. Cromlech has a whole range of space orc bits.
And
Or wait, was it Cromlech or
Spellcrow?
Spellcrow? I think I said the wrong thing. Although I bet Cromlech also has some stuff. Spellcrow for sure.
Spellcrow. The problem with the Spellcrow ones, I'm gonna say, is they're very cartoony. Like way more cartoony, I feel like, than the Games Workshop ones. So maybe that could dissuade people. I could see.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're way better and way more fun, but they're done in a different style compared to like Games Workshop stuff. Like everything's a little bit even more exaggerated. I feel like I have some of the heads with the pirate ship hats, And they're very fun. There's tons of 3D printing people out there. I think potentially Black Crag Studios or Miniatures, who we've done videos with. I think maybe they have some heads and stuff, but they might just be specific to how they do miniatures. I'm not sure.
Puppets War might also have some stuff, and Puppets War will have like intense, frightening looking heads if that's what you're into, like tough,
Yeah.
mean heads. Puppets War. They just came out with a range of samurai orcs.
Oh yeah.
And I painted a bunch up, and they're really nice.
Tony Tippett Jr. Good job, guys. First time watching your videos, and I have been very impressed. You two are a good team.
Yeah.
Actually, I just want to announce everybody that we are breaking up.
Yes.
I will be Eons, and Jay will be Battle. So I'll do all the Eons work, and Jay will do all the Battle work.
Mm-hmm.
And we're splitting the channel in half. And I get custody of the models, even though even the ones I didn't paint.
Chicken nuggets. Where can you find stuff for your bases like the wood pieces? These are orchid planting pine bark nuggets. Orchid planting pine bark nuggets. I would get them in a baggie. They're a little tricky to find. You're probably not... I haven't found them at like Ace or Menards, but I've seen them in like plant nurseries where they got like the real good stuff. There's like there also are listings for it on Amazon, but I've always been too scared to pull the trigger because you can't tell anything from the picture.
Right.
Whereas in person, it's in a clear bag, so you can just see. Oh yeah, that's about right, the right size I want.
Right. Alex Gilmore. Jay and Nick, what is both of your favorite Chaos Gods?
I like
Zinch.
Nurgle. Papa Nurgle.
Zinch. I like Magnus, because Magnus is red.
Does anybody like corn?
I like it on the cob. But besides that... But besides that, yeah, I don't know. All I know is Angron is angry. I just want to put that out
So
there.
angry.
So angry.
Angry. Angwan.
VG95. Nick, which half do I go to? We will be cutting you directly in half. So you don't have to worry about that. Where's the other one? Shangron. What about of? We're splitting of. I get the O. So I get Eon's O.
And I get F Battle.
Yeah. F Battle. That's a
F
good
Battle.
name.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to F Battle.
Man, look at all the sensors this guy's got. He can really see ahead of, like, forward.
Not backwards, though.
No, not even
At
a little bit.
all.
He'd have to turn all the way around
Yeah.
to see behind him.
I think that's interesting. They should have some sensors on the back, don't you think?
That would make sense.
Yeah.
I guess it wouldn't look as impressive to have a big lens sticking out the back of his head.
Yeah.
Vertical mammal. Floral sections and garden sections are both great basic material sources. That's very true. The floral section of Joanne's is Chef's Kiss. Yeah, that's a good point. And that stuff's always on sale, too, because old ladies aren't buying it anymore.
Because, yeah. Exactly. Because they're all dead. That's why. Just want to bring it down a little bit. naked apes. That's what happens when you lose a teddy bear and can never find it. Poor Angron.
Aww.
Yeah.
Poor Weedo Angwan. Lucas Taylor,
Camry.
corn has got to be my favorite. There's just something I love about how simple corn is, plus a bunch of melee rushing angry boys is always very fun. That's true. I would love to see a swarm of bloodletters.
Camry, how does it feel always running out of red and black paint?
I haven't run out of black in a long time because I bought Apple Barrel Multi-Surface Indoor Outdoor 21985E Black. This is really, really good black, and it's like 80 cents.
80 cents.
For 2 fluid ounces. Red... I haven't run out in a while, but I have bought a lot of... I really like Games Workshop's reds. Mephiston red, Corn red, and Evil Sun Scarlet? What's the name of the bright red?
That sounds right. M14 serve. How about rear view mirrors? That could look cool.
Yeah.
Gotta get those mirrors going.
Mm-hmm.
I like to think that Terminators make a beeping noise when they back up.
Mm-hmm. Traspleen J, how do you paint fires? The lowest part of the fire, you want like white, and then moving up, you want it to be yellow, orange, red, and then you want the tips of the flames to be black to look like the fire turning into smoke. Shivox, before you go, Jay, do you have a video on freehanding lettering, or numbers? I don't think so. I probably did it at some point in some video, but it wasn't like the topic of the video.
Yeah.
Freehanding.
I don't know.
Dunno. I would suggest a brush like this liner brush with the long bristles so that it can hold a lot of paint. Otherwise, you'll be constantly refreshing your paint, and what you don't want to do all the time when you're carefully freehanding is stopping.
Right.
And speaking of stopping,
We are stopping the stream, everybody. Well, we had 2 videos out this week. Make sure you go watch those videos, especially the Goongas.
yeah.
Watch that Goongas. And we have 2 more coming as well. We have one tomorrow, which is the Models and Memories, and we also have a Patreon exclusive episode where we go through the patrons' models and talk about them, and give some nice and wonderful critiques. We also have our Patreon-only stream after the normal stream tomorrow. Can you even believe it? Tomorrow. You can
Yeah.
call in and chat along with us, like with your voice, over on Discord. But we'll be back with another live stream tomorrow at 9 p.m. Central, so join us for that.
Mm-hmm. And I'll be painting something new. Patrons, get ready to vote to do your civic duty.
I love it.
All right, everybody. Good night.
Goongas.